You will find that for mass engineered timber projects, there is going to be a lot more lifting and handling of the components on site compared to traditional concrete construction. And that is because the different components, they are fabricated in the factory and they are brought to the site. So once we bring them to the site, then we will need to figure out a way to connect or assemble them. And that requires us to do a lot of lifting and handling, right? So in order to attach the, for example, cross-laminated timber panel, yeah, or to a crane at the construction site, lifting points need to be created onto or on the panel so that the crane can hook onto them. We are going to discuss the different ways of having all this lifting. But to take note is that just like for all proper lifting, it must be operated by trained personnel only, and the stakeholders, they need to obey the rigging instructions. Okay, choose suitably strong chain slings according to the panel or the pack weights. Okay, weights are typically indicated on the panel or the packs, the label. Always check the lifting tools, the slings and the chain before use. Choose lifting system according to the surface requirement. Okay, and we will need to do plugging, okay, after the lifting if we are going to drill holes right through the panels. Let's talk about the different lifting system. So in terms of lifting, you can go for what you call a contact lifting system. So if you have a contact lifting system, that involves using steel plates that provides the compressive resistance on the lower face of the panel. Is popularly considered the safest, okay, CLT panel handle method. So if you want to do this, you will need to drill a hole right through the panel to allow the insertion of a dowel or threaded sleeve with nuts. The problem with drilling the hole is that the holes will need to be sealed or plugged when the lifting is completed to ensure that the resulting panel is having the proper air tightness, water tightness, and to limit the spread of sound, fire, and smoke. Okay, so in terms of contact lifting system, these are some of the different ways, okay, to have a contact lifting system. We're going to go through all of them, but in Singapore, the most popular contact lifting system is using the soft sling lifting, okay, or soft lifting sling, right? In Singapore, we are not so familiar with using the rest of all this, but we tend to use this as the sling. But in any case, let's go through all this. Right, so the first one is what you call a single lifting loop. So this is how the single lifting loop looks like, with a threaded sleeve. Okay, so the sleeve, there are internal tracks inside. Okay, used with this is a threaded sleeve. Okay, with the socket steel tube. Okay, so the socket steel tube also there's a thread so that you can actually connect the two members together. Right. So the socket is welded to the steel plate inserted into the previously machined hole. So that means you will actually drill a hole right through. Okay. So lifting loop is then screwed from the above using a threaded sleeve. Okay. Then after that you do the lifting from here. So after you finish the lifting, you need to take out all these parts. Then after that plug, okay, the opening. Now the second type is what I call articulated lifting loop. This is how the articulated lifting loop looks like. Okay. So with a threaded, this sleeve, again a threaded sleeve, okay, with the steel socket tube, okay, this is a steel socket tube, okay, welded to the flat plate, right? So if you have the articulated lifting loop, so it gives you a bit more flexibility to move, okay, in the lateral direction compared to the very first one. You can also use a articulated lifting hook instead of a loop, the hook, okay, and connect that to a threaded this sleeve used with a steel this socket tube welded to the flat plate. Okay, so the hook will allow for quick installation of the lifting system and has the ability to rotate around the steel ring, right? You can go for a threaded eyelet bolt. Okay, so this is how the threaded eyelet bolt looks like. Okay, again with the steel socket tube, okay, welded to the flat brace plate. Okay, and this is how it looks like when you do the installation. You can have a threaded eyelet bolt used with a steel plate and nut. So you have a nut, okay, instead of welded, okay, so you use the nut to do the adjustment, okay, right, and then you feed it through the drill hole, okay, through your the member. You can have a eyelet used with a bolt or threaded sleeve, and this is a steel plate, okay, so now you use the eyelet, okay, and this part here is for you to do the lifting, right. You can have a threaded eyelet bolt, threaded socket, threaded bolt, and steel plate, okay, which is how it looks like. So there's a few components here, okay. So the threaded eyelet bolt can be used with a threaded socket, a bolt or threaded rod, and steel plate. The threaded socket is normally pre-installed into inside this CLT, the plant, for future use on site. So at the construction site, the eyelet bolt and the single bolt or threaded rod, they are easily screwed onto the plate. Okay, so important to choose the right eyelet bolt and to install it correctly. When handling is completed, the two bolts and the steel plates are removed, but the threaded socket, okay, or the threaded socket, okay, still remains in place, right? Remain in place for future use. For example, okay, if this is a temporary building, okay, after some time we may need to remove the temporary building, then we will need to take out the panel, and then we can reinstall this component to allow us to do the lifting, okay, to take out the panel. You can have a threaded eyelet bolt, okay, this is a threaded socket and the steel round rod, okay. Also this one will be for a lighter weight panel, okay, right. So threaded socket with holes at the tip inserted into the CLT slab. The socket is normally embedded in the concrete, and eyelet bolt is screwed into the socket. Lifting system is then locked with a steel round rod that is in contact with the wood. When the handling is completed, the three elements are removed, right? But the system can leave marks on the timber. Marks on the timber here, okay, may not be suitable if the panel must remain visible on the underside, right? Typically, we use it for lightweight panel. So this is what I'm talking about. In Singapore, we tend to use this soft sling, right? So this system is based on a woven sling made of 100% polyester, right? Effective length of the sling is 1 meter, okay? The width is 50 mm, okay? Thickness is around 3 mm. So depend on the lifting angle and the way the sling is used, possible to bear lifting load up to 2000 kg. So you can see the figure here, it tell you, some of the lifting requirement and all that, okay. And at every sling, okay, they will indicate what is the capacity, right. So the thing to understand is that the sling is meant for single use, all right, meaning one use, right. So that means that it is possible to lift 3 to 6 times, okay, 3 to 6 times, but the moment you take out the sling, okay, from the hook and the panel and all that, okay, it is not allowed to be used again in another lifting for another panel, okay. So it is for single use only, right. So it's the easiest and the most common type of lifting, okay. And you can have a color code, okay, for different load capacity. Okay, so this one show you the lifting using the sling, okay, using the slings, so and so forth, right. Again, showing you the lifting using the sling, using the sling. Okay. Now the next system is what you call the screw hoist system. It's different from just now the contact the lifting system, because now the opening that you create in the CLT panel or your ground panel, you don't need to drill right through. Okay, you don't need to drill right through. Okay. So there are several lifting techniques that rely only on the withdrawal resistance of the fastening. So that's why you don't drill right through, okay, right? So although these techniques are simple, effective, you need to have a careful design analysis for the load involved and strict control during the installation, okay, and the use, okay. But it has its advantage. The advantage of this system is that it does not affect the appearance, the surface appearance of the wood, okay, on the other side, because your hole do not go right through, okay. So when you are doing your plugging, at least you don't need to plug so much, Yeah. So that is the advantage of this system. Okay, appearance. Okay, and within this system there are a few subfamilies. You can have the screw anchor, you have a screw plate and the lifting ring. You can have a double threaded socket with an eyelet bolt or lifting loop with a threaded sleeve. You can have some other innovative lifting system. Okay, and you can also have an integrated lifting system where you insert the rod with a soft sling, or you insert the rod with a lifting hook. Right, so let's look at all these systems in a little bit more detail. So this one is the screw anchor. Okay, I'll show you the screw anchor. Okay, and the opening do not go right through the whole panel. Okay, so it basically just goes into a bit of the thickness of the panel. Then after you install some kind of a screw anchor, and then after you do the lifting. Right. Then you can also have a screw plate with the lifting ring, and this is how the screw plate with the lifting ring looks like. This one is the schematic. Okay, this one is actually how it looks like in physical installation. Okay, and the workers doing the lifting. Right. So you can also have what I call a double threaded socket. Okay, with an eyelet bolt or lifting loop with a threaded sleeve. Okay, so again the main thing is that you do not drill a hole right through the whole panel. It's only partial. Okay, partial. Right, so this one is a more innovative lifting system with a wood screw and eyelet bolt. Okay, or you drill a hole. Okay, then after that you install the this component. Then after that you install this wood screw. Okay, the wood screw, right, into the timber component. Then after you put in your this eyelet bolt, thread it inside, and then after you can use it for lifting. Okay. You can also use an inserted rod with a soft sling. This is how it looks like. Okay, or inserted rod with a lifting hook. And this is how it looks like. Okay. Also, these are some of the alternative lifting system. In terms of the actual lifting, we always try to ensure that if there's a 2-point lifting, the angle is not too wide. And when we say angle not too wide, we are using 60 degrees as a basis. If the angle is too sharp, okay, normally we'll replace that with a spreader beam to have a better performance, right? So that's one principle. Okay. If you have a 4-point lifting, and then all these 4 points are all connected to the cable or chain, and the chain all link to one point, it is not effective, because it has been proven that if you use a system like that, okay, at any one time there's only going to be 2 chain, okay, that is going to be taut. So instead of a 4-point lifting, you only have a 2-point lifting. So what you need to do is to convert the 4-point, okay, into 3-point by using a triangular section here. Okay, so that these 2 parts here is taut, this is taut, then you have the full 4-point lifting. Okay, so at the point of connection, okay, point of lifting, there's only 3 okay contact points, right? So same reason, okay. Or if you have a 4-point lifting and then you use this type of a system, at any one time only 2 parts will be taut, okay, then you are having 2-point lifting instead of 4-point, okay. Or so you need to convert it into something like that for more effective 4-point lifting, right? Okay, or something like this is also possible, okay, yeah. Or and we try to lift in such a way that the centroid coincides with the lifting cable, okay, so that the panel is not tilted. This shows you, okay, alternative way of lifting where you have 6 lifting points, okay, or 6 lifting points. And again, in order to make it taut, okay, you're gonna do some this arrangement so that at the point of contact, okay, for the lifting, okay, there's only 3 points, okay, 3 points, right? Or you have special shapes, okay, you try to lift in such a way that the centroid passes through the cable, right? And in the olden days where we don't have all these lifting devices, okay, it's not easy, okay, to get the people to do the installation, right?